Guys, this is Michelle.
And this is Mark. And here comes the kitty.
And here's Lori.
Hi, Lori.
And this is Mark and Michelle and Lori.
And
Lori is a boy. We've named our cats after Fry and Lori, our favorite
British
comedy duo.
Come on, man. Can you point
Hi,
that in another
Krista.
direction? And so anyway, Michelle is going to start with something that one of our clients told us yesterday.
Yeah. If you're on the Facebook page, you've already read this, but we've got podcasters and YouTube people and Instagram people. And so this is the message we got yesterday. OMG, Nicholas is studying all on his own. Didn't ask me once for help. And school asked if we could reduce his aid in the classrooms since he's participating and staying focused and in task. OMG, I'm tearing, heart. Loving AWMM and Mark and Michelle, heart, heart, heart. That's the Heavy Metal Detox Smoothie, people.
That's what it does. Yep. And pretty soon we're going to re-interview Sean, the guy we interviewed a few months ago, because he's seen some major changes because of the heavy metal. I think he's just doing the Heavy Metal Detox Smoothie.
I thought they were doing the celery.
They might be doing the celery juice too.
We just need to talk to them again.
We do.
And and then there's Margaret, whose son is doing really well, and he's a teenager. No, he's 24, and we're probably going to get to interview him in January. We're hoping.
Okay.
Let's see. I heard from Haley today. Her son is recognizing that he's not needing as much help at school.
That's saying something, because that means that he knows on the inside whether he needs help or not. I didn't.
Yeah. Well, he's awakened enough to know. She said he still does need help, but he's just recognizing that you don't need as much help is pretty cool.
Exactly.
And then heard from Tara, and she's hearing more words and requests from her kid. So yesterday was a pretty cool day. Lots of
there's lots of healing going on because of medical medium and AW, right? This is to me this is the most healing and helpful diet that we've done.
Yes,
and
by far.
And I'd say it's probably the exact same for anybody else.
Yeah.
And so if you want to do all those tests on this or that, you go ahead and do it. But you could be healing instead.
Well, and some of these people are only doing the Heavy Metal Detox Smoothie. I mean, they're trying to do some of the other things, but the kids are so picky. You have to start.
You have to start where the kid's at.
Where the kid is. So they're getting healing with just the smoothie. She has been able to change some of their eating habits. As they have healed, they have been more open to eating other things. I mean, that's how it goes. And I think a lot of it is heavy metals in the tongue messing with how things taste.
Yep. Good point. I bet that's a lot of picky eaters and texture issues and things like that.
So you just have to start, and it starts with the Heavy Metal Detox Smoothie.
Just start and keep going. That's all we did. And if you fall off, get back on. That's all you got to do. Because real success is persevering until you get to where you want to be. That's what success is. Because you're always going to have setbacks. We had plenty of setbacks. And every once in a while, we still do. But the more setbacks you go through, the more healing you're going through. And so that just sooner or later you'll get over that hump and you'll be on the other side.
And then the other cool thing that happened was the kitties. I have a music studio as one of our
rooms in the house.
Yes, and I have the closet is full of instruments. And I was letting the cats into the closet just for fun, and I saw this box and it looked like there were clothes in it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, those are those clothes that I got too big for." I pulled them out, and I could wear almost all of them.
Yep.
That was so exciting. I have like 1 million clothes now. There's still some that were too small. Not very many though, and so I'm getting there. That had to happen. That I had to do no fat. Yeah. I mean, absolutely no fat because my liver was so backed up.
Yep.
And now I've added in a little bit of fat here and there. So like yesterday I had some cashew cheese. and olives. But that was the only thing that I had that was. Are you looking at Facebook?
No, I am pulling something up.
Okay, I'm done. You do your thing.
Okay. Well, some of you may have heard in the past on our podcasts and stuff and on videos, Facebook Lives here, that we've always done spiritual things and not religious. That's not what we're talking about, but we're working on who we are on the inside as well as healing on the outside, because you've heard us say recently, you are not going to start healing like you want to unless you heal on the inside. Start healing on the inside first. Beliefs mainly, right? And because those beliefs will hold you back. And so one of how Michelle got started was hearing a woman named Louise Hay on an Oprah show. And Louise Hay wrote a book called You Can Heal Your Life. Very famous book in the self-help, arena. And she wrote that book in the early 1980s. I think it was 84. And it's all about how your beliefs about yourself are what hold you back in life, are what have damaged you. Yeah, exactly, or created disease. Now, I don't know necessarily, well, maybe I could see beliefs creating disease in the sense of if you don't believe that food can be healthy, you'll eat unhealthy food and cause yourself illness. I can see that. But anyway, so Louise Hay, the whole message of You Can Heal Your Life is, the basic message is learn to love yourself, right? And so over the 35 years that she wrote that book, that's always been her message. She died about 3 years ago, I think. But
in her 90s.
Yeah, she was 90, either 90 or 91. But her whole thing was learn to love yourself. If you love yourself, the rest of your life will take care of itself, right? And everybody, I think, has especially if you're an NT, you have a more implicit definition of what like or loving yourself means, right? Implicit being probably not easily describable or relatable to somebody else. Marlo! And that being the case, your idea of like and love will be based on emotions, more than likely. However, for me, I didn't even really know what the word like meant. Had even more trouble with the word love. What does that really mean? And so I've been reading a book, pieces of a book here and there. It's called Loveability by a guy named Robert Holden. Robert Holden is an English therapist, and he was good friends with Louise Hay. And so his book, he talks about loveability. Basically, the whole book is about love, what it is, how you do it for you, how you do it for other people, and this kind of thing. But he says here, when you judge yourself, the personality compares itself negatively with others. You keep trying to change yourself into something better, but nothing really changes because you haven't stopped telling yourself, I am not lovable. No amount of makeovers or reinvention or new beauty secrets seems to do the trick. Even when you are in a dream relationship and you appear to have it all, it still feels like something is missing. Well, so last night I'm at work. I text Michelle and I said, what does lovable mean to you? Lovability.
I was like, okay. Well, context?
Yeah, because I threw that out there. And she goes, and she knows when I ask questions like this that I'm examining deep things, right? And it sounds like, was it deep things from such and such Handy off of Saturday Night Live? Yeah. Anyway, us older folks will get that. But anyway, deep thoughts, that's what it is. But anyway,
Deep Thoughts with Jack Handy.
That's it. Off of Saturday Night Live back in the 80s. Anyway, so I asked her what lovability meant to her, and she said, it's really tough to explain. She said, but it's like all the things you are. I'm like, okay, all right, okay, and I'm going, that's pretty implicit. So I'm like, okay. And then she comes up with this analogy. She said, well, what is it you love about Fry? Or what is it that you love about Lori?
Yeah, talking about the kitties.
Lori. He doesn't know I'm pointing at him behind his back. And
he's listening to you guys.
He is.
See that?
Yeah. And he's got his ears craned towards the TV screen, and there's no sound coming from it. But anyway, so
maybe because Mark's too loud.
Probably. So, but
and
anyway,
that's one of the things that's adorable about him.
Well, exactly. And she asked, what is it that you like about Fry? So I said this, 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 and she said, well, here's what I like about Lori, this, this, and this. And she said, all right, you remember when Harry met Sally at the end of the movie, at the New Year's Eve dance, Harry comes running up to Sally, and he goes, well, I love that you do this and this and this. And I love
get that crinkle above your nose
forehead.
when you, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And she goes, and Michelle said, see, he was listing all the things that he loved about her. So I said, in other words, what you're saying is what makes a person lovable is the traits, the personality traits. And she said, yes, exactly. Well, see, all this time I've been trying to figure out how to love myself and at least like myself. But like and love to me are kind of the same things. Love is a much more supportive and engaged process. And so I've been trying to learn how to love myself because I didn't really know what that meant. Well, so after Michelle's analogy last night and talking about the kitties and that kind of stuff from other people, I went and asked a couple of friends of mine at work what they thought lovable meant. So one of my friends in produce, I asked her, and she said, oh, that's really hard because I've never had to think about it, And I said, okay, well then what makes your little girl lovable? And she told me, she's really kind. She's really smart. She thinks about things and is really considerate of others. Apparently they were in the store the other day and they were touching the mushrooms, the bulk mushrooms. And her little girl looked up and said, so should we tell the produce people to get rid of these now? Because we've touched them.
Oh.
And she said, I wouldn't want other people to get sick, And so my friend in produce said, oh, I never thought about that, She said, but that's how my little girl is. She's lovable. I love her because she is that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, oh, okay. So I said, what you're saying is she's lovable because of her personality traits. And my friend goes, exactly. I said, okay, all right. And my friend, she knows my story, that I've healed from autism. And I've told her that for me, feeling things was just not on the table. That was something I hardly ever did unless it was anger or frustration. Well, then as I continued doing my job, I met one of my other friends in another department, and I asked her, and I said, what is lovable to you? And she told me, and I said, well, here's what's happening. And I told her, she goes, I love your brain. I love the way your brain works. She said, that's what makes you lovable to me. That's what she said. And I thought, so all I need to do to start loving myself is list what I like about me. And so I continued on after talking to my friend in that last department for a few minutes. And I realized, you know what? But that's all everybody else is doing when they say they love me, is listing all the things that they like about me or love about me. And I realized, oh, that's all I have to do for me. So I started listing all the things. And all of a sudden, I realized that's going to change my life. It's going to make a difference in how I view my world and even more importantly, how I view me. Because all of a sudden, I am now a likable, lovable person to myself in a concrete way. This is a technique you can teach your kids as they recover. If they don't know how to love themselves, you can teach them this concrete method. And that will change their view of themselves in just a little bit. And
we just came up with it last night.
We did. And you might call it the Loveability method, And Robert Holden, in his book, there's no method that concrete. Because NTs, when they speak to NTs, don't have to be that concrete. But NTs speaking to autistic people have to be that concrete. And autistic people speaking to other autistic people are already that concrete. Mm-hmm. So learning to love yourself can be a very concrete thing. There's a very concrete method for it. And so I realized that makes everything in my life okay now. If I'm okay with me, then the rest of my life is okay. Not just okay, but awesome. Because if I feel awesome about myself, and I should, and so should you, then that means everything else in my life is awesome too. That changes everything, because then I'm not worried about, am I doing enough here, or am I doing it? No. I sat down this morning and did something I haven't done in maybe 20 years or more. I sat in there and watched Michelle try on clothes while being thoroughly obsessed with power processors and looking through my phone, but I was paying attention to her at the same time. Now, I couldn't do that as an Aspie, so I was better at that, and I was able to actively engage her, but I was divided up between two things, and I was completely obsessed about the power processors and the Xeon processors at the same time, telling her I thought that was great, I thought that was crap, whatever.
Before, he would have yelled at me for interrupting him.
I would have, but even then, it's got to be for the last 20 years now. Yeah, actually it will be, because next year, in January of next month, January of next year will literally be 20 years since I started school, college.
Oh my goodness! That's wild to think about.
January of 2000, and I haven't thought about me thoroughly and cared about what I wanted for that long, for 20 years.
Wow.
And so now I'm able to do that because I lost me over that 20-year time span. Because I remember thinking about what I liked to do before that. In the 90s, I was all about me. Now, part of that was the autism, but at the same time, part of that was me being okay with my life. But for 20 years, the failure in school, the financial troubles, really destroyed who I thought I was. And now I've gotten that back. Now I have returned to being me, with no apologies, no excuses, no shrinking from who I am. I like me, finally. I think I liked me before, but the 20 years of real illness with the autism and the financial troubles that we went through and the school problems that I went through and the job problems I went through, all that really destroyed my view of me. Now it's back after 20 years. Almost exactly 20 years.
Wow.
And so this method is something you can teach your kids. If they don't feel good about themselves, sit them down and say, hey, write things about you that you like. Right? I think even autistic people can do that. And you would know better. But I actually think autistic people could do that, and it would change their lives. I've had a lot of adults say, well, you need to accept your autism. You know what? Sorry, but autism is not something I liked about me. And we just recently, since yesterday, talked to I'm assuming a young guy who doesn't like his autism either, and he's trying to heal from it.
Yeah, he found us on YouTube.
And he has some differing views than us, but it doesn't matter. He does not like his autism. And we all get to make choices in this life. And I'll make my choices without input from people who know nothing about me. Thank you very much. All right. And so I've had people on the autism spectrum say, well, you haven't accepted yourself. You know what? I don't even think you know what the word accept means. When you're telling me that, I can be damn sure you don't know what that word means, and you don't know how to do it. So, because then there's liking and loving yourself, which is a whole nother step well beyond your poor advice to me. So anyway, I just wanted you to know that we have really, I've really worked hard on this. And with her help, she was able to make it concrete enough for me so that I actually come up with a method to love myself. And
so let's say the method one more time.
The method is
huge.
This, okay? And this is what I had to do. And it's very easy. What I did is, in my head, I started listing all the things about me that I like.
Let's just do it. Say it.
So, first one, I am unbelievably persevering. I keep on going no matter what. I was telling one of the guys at work, well, I took organic chemistry 7 times. He's an electrical engineer major. And I said, I love the information. I just wasn't good at it. Now, he didn't get that, and there was a certain amount of judgment involved in his response, but whatever, that's his problem. But I told him that I took organic chemistry 7 times, general chemistry 3 times, genetics 3 times. I just kept going until I was successful. And so I'm very persevering. I'm incredibly curious.
That's one of the things I like.
I've always been that. You know, that is actually a trait of Oklahomans. People here ask me, what is that you're doing? The Gleason pipe, and people have never been that curious anywhere else I've lived.
Maybe well, they might be. It's just not okay to say it.
Well, maybe that's very possible. But here, people are extrovertedly demonstrative about their curiosity. So
you're very curious.
I'm very curious, very persevering. I am very helpful, and I've had to curb that instinct. A lot of that helpfulness was out of trying to be acceptable to people, but I can still be very helpful. And I'm
sure a lot of these people would say you're very helpful.
Yes. And so I am very helpful. And so as I started listing those things.
What else did you list?
What else did I list? I am very knowledgeable about all kinds of things. And I'm a very good cook.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I didn't get much past that because that was enough. And you know, with your autistic loved ones who can't feel their own internal feelings, if they have trouble relating to this list, you just tell them that is the reason you should like you, is because of all of those things right there. I think they will connect with that enough, unless they were as bad as I was, unless they were as severe as I was. I think they will connect with the list of all the traits that they like about themselves. And I think that will make a huge difference for them. Everybody needs to be able to love themselves, to live this life the way they want to live it. And learning and just taking this simple method of listing all the things that you like about yourself and keep telling yourself about them, I think that will make a huge difference in anybody's life, whether they have autism or not.
Yeah.
So anyway.
I just want to add that I think Mark is funny, and he's really cute. And he makes me laugh a lot.
Right. Well, she makes me laugh a lot. I like her humorously disgusted eye rolls when I do things. So, and she's always been helpful, and she's incredibly persevering. Otherwise, she wouldn't have stayed with me. So, yeah. Anyway. All right. Well, guys, we'll let you go for today, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. Yeah, I guess it'll be tomorrow. Yeah, we'll do so. We'll figure out something to talk about tomorrow. So.
All right. Have a great day.
Bye.